So y'all been asking how I do my baby hairs. Girl, what's the baby hair tutorial? I'm gonna show you guys how I swoop de doop. So let's get into it.
It's Slim Reshae, all about natural beauty. Yeah, Slim Reshae.
First, I like to take a headband and just push all of my hair back. Like so, like that. The way I do my baby hairs also depends on like the hairstyle that I'm doing. So right now I have a wash and go, I have a side part. So my side part baby hair is gonna look a little bit different than my puff baby hairs. But yeah, I kind of tailor my edges to whatever hairstyle that I'm doing. First, I like to go ahead and just like gently pull out the hair that I plan on swooping. And I usually try to start with a small amount, but I did have some, you know, breakage in my cowlick area. As you can see, as it's growing out, those hairs are a little bit shorter and it's giving baby instead of adult hairs. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make your edges look thicker than they are too. Putting a headband also allows you to refrain from taking those longer pieces of hair and pulling them into your baby hairs. I'm not gonna lie, this is not what I normally do, but I had an idea and we gonna try it out, right? So normally I use my Eben, this is their colored edge tamer edge gel. I like this because the color adds thickness to spots that look rather thin. I also use it in conjunction with the Shea's Balm Edge Gel, and I had got this and tried it out at Target. I really like it. I feel like it slicks my hair really good. So as I was doing this, I was like, girl, why don't you just mix some of the dark one in the Shea's Balm since this is almost gone? So that's what I did. We gonna see how that works out. So you want to be light-handed when you apply it because it is like very much giving black. This is the shade dark brown. Gently add some all around my edges. Then I like to brush it through my hair so it's not just kind of like sitting there. So I just kind of brush my edges forward towards my face. I also like to do the same thing but go the opposite way. So kind of adding it to where my hair is pushed back. It's gonna make your hair look thicker. Now you want to do the same thing and brush that in. The reason why I brush it in is so it could like look more like hair than paint. And you see how much fuller that looks? So then I do like to use a foam mousse sometimes. This is the Do Crazy Sexy Curl. And sometimes I like to just use this to kind of start creating whatever swoops I'm gonna be doing. Obviously this routine is gonna vary depending on your hairline, your baby hairs, how you want to shape your face, all of that. So find what works for you, but this is what I be doing. This routine is not like my everyday routine. This routine is like my start off baby edges when I have fresh day one hair. So I did my hair today. I need my baby hairs to be fried dye laid to the side for this weekend. So I'm about to set these things in stone like concrete. And I won't have to mess with them for a couple of days. Maybe touch it up on day 3 or so. I'm switching to this edge brush. This is just a brush from the hair store. I'll link similar edge brushes in the description box below for you. But I start off around my cowlick area to figure out like how I want my hairs to swoop. And typically I will swoop anything from here to here inward, and these will go down. So just I'm using the comb side right now and just doing like a C-shaped swoop, right? And you get that sharp line by using the comb. So then I do basically like a reverse C-shape swoop, and then you kind of use the comb to get your baby hairs to like lay together. And sometimes I do have to use my fingers and just like clump the curl together. And then as I swoop it, the curl will start to curl up on its own. Now, if I do have like a lot of hair over here, you can either one, put some back, put some of your baby hairs back, or you can create like a secondary little swoop. So I'm gonna create a secondary swoop that's going back into my hairline, and then this piece is gonna swoop forward. And honestly, it does take a lot of attention to detail and taking your time. This ain't no quick baby hair tutorial, but just keep like playing with it, pressing around with it until you get the kind of swoop that you want. And then you can use the brush if you need to swoop other pieces. Sometimes I like to swoop pieces back towards my hair so it doesn't look like it's completely disconnected from my head, even though I know on camera like you see this big old gap. Typically I do my swoop by my ear, back towards my ear, and if I have any like excess hair, I'll pat it into a little circle. For my girls who have longer baby hairs, sometimes it do be a little difficult because that little piece of hair at the end of your swoop just keep going, and you just have to keep trying to coil it into that circle so it looks, you know, flat. Sometimes I just be over it and I'll leave it like that. So now I'm coming back here and I am swooping this one forward. Now it depends on like if I do a backward swoop or whatever, I need to figure out what I'm doing with this middle piece, because the middle piece also kind of determines what I'm gonna do. I typically like the middle piece to do like a little S shape. So I'm gonna come up here, start with the brush side, and start swooping. I have a widow's peak, so I'm just swooping my widow's peak like that. Then I am gonna separate the hair that's gonna go in that other one, and I'm taking my comb and I am combing it back to start my C. If you need to add some more foam mousse, you can. I know sometimes people be like, girl, you putting all that product on your skin. Girl, you want your baby hairs laid or not? But no, you can clean up your skin with like a cotton pad afterwards. So all the excess product that's not holding your baby hair down ain't just sitting on your head. But yeah, so I just kind of swoop it like that and adjust as needed. So if I want the circle to look a certain way, I kind of just move it around until it gets how I want it. Kind of like that. So now I can figure out what I want to do with this. If I want to swoop it this way and like make it, you know, do the swoop-de-doop. If I get confused on what I want to do, girl, I'll come back and figure it out. So again, I do have a side part over here. So I high-key do need to do some sort of something to allude that there's a side part over here. This one I typically like to swoop again towards my widow's peak. And then if your little curl is too small, you can always widen it up and like place it where you want to. Like I want it to be a little bit closer to my hairline versus down on my forehead. So I just adjust it and use the tail end of this one to kind of like swoop it. And as you can see, I probably could add a little bit more of the black here, just so it doesn't look as thin. I mean, you don't want it to look like permanent marker edges either, but to each his own. You swoop-de-doop how you want to swoop-de-doop. If I get to it and I feel like there's too much hair, then I'll just put some back and then, you know, go at it again. And I'm sorry I'm not looking at y'all, girl. I gotta be locked in on the mirror to, you know, make sure everything is doing what it need to do. So that's what we looking like. If I want them to be concrete, sometimes I'll just go in and add just a touch of got to be and just make sure it's in there real good. I don't know where my OG spritz is, but the old school spritz, like hairspray, that is really good for setting everything. Or you can take like a got to be. You ain't gotta spray it like that. You can honestly put it on your finger and just tap it, you know, where it need to go. And then go ahead and take, you know, your cotton ball or Q-tip, whatever, and clean up. Once you get to this point, you want to lay it down with a scarf. I have some old like scrap pieces of t-shirt that I use. Lay it down 10 or 15 minutes. You want to be careful when you remove it. Sometimes I like to take it off like within a minute, just so the product doesn't dry to the headband that you put on, because sometimes it'll do that, and when you peel it, it'll peel up your edges. We not doing that. So, because you really just want it to, you want it to like press down. You don't want to press down, shaking together, run over. You really just want it to like press down and kind of like set, you know what I'm saying? So it's been on there for maybe 45 seconds to a minute, not too crazy, but I can still like peel it off without it peeling up, you know, what I put down. And then from there I just kind of like fluff out my hair. Sometimes I'll go in my part area and tidy that up too, and then boom, that is how I do my edges. Some baby hair days are better than others, but that's how I do my edges. This will probably stay put and last me for a couple of days. I just make sure I tie my baby hairs down when I go to sleep or when I go to the gym, so that they stay in place. And if I need to touch it up, I usually just use some of the Crazy Sexy Curl foam mousse or my got to be. These are my go-to products, but you know, initially if you're setting them, the She Is Bomb Edge Gel has been my go-to, mixing it with the Eben dark brown edge control. So if you're watching this far and you are not subscribed, girl, go ahead and subscribe. You enjoy me, I'm enjoying you, so go ahead and subscribe, join the gym squad, and comment below which natural hair tutorial you guys want to see next. As always, I love y'all, and never forget, be kind, be true, and be you, Tidful. Bye!
It's Slim Reshae, all about natural beauty. Yeah, Slim Reshae.